Hello, and welcome back to this episode of Vampire the Dark Ages, the Court of Mithras. Welcome to episode 2 of this 8-episode mini-series, featuring some great players, and some dark, twisted characters. I hope you're excited for today's unraveling, as we discover more mysteries about the Court of Mithras and the Dark Ages of London, the Baronies of Avalon. I think with that, let's do some player introductions. This week, let's start off with John. John, what can you give us an introduction of yourself and your character?
Sure. My name's John, and I make games. And my character is doomed. He's just totally doomed. And he's a Zamisi who has embraced the teachings and wisdom of Christ, and is going to completely screw himself over with that.
Absolutely.
That's my character.
I can only see this going well.
Only going well.
Up next, Mars. Why don't you give us an introduction?
Hello, I am Mars, and I will be playing Enid, the La Sombra.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, Drew, why don't you give us an introduction for yourself as you are just joining us in future episode?
Hi everyone, I'm Drew, and I'm back for 4 to 6 weeks of missing from Mark's streams. I've missed all of you. Glad to be back. This week I will be playing Philippe, the Kiasid librarian, and he has quite checkered history, and look forward to seeing what happens in Mithras's courts.
Also, thank you, Lorenzo Factor, for subscribing. I think we can probably jump right in with a recap of the previous session. Is there anyone who would like to lead the recap, or am I going to have to volunteer?
I was awesome.
I do have notes. I believe the episode started with kind of like a bit of like set dressing of like Mithras ruling over the baronies of Avalon. Basically, there's something had gone awry. The city whispered of secrets. Basically, that an Elysium had been called, and basically we kind of like started at the point of that Elysium as the prince had an important announcement that could bring favor or disfavor if one showed or didn't show. And basically our like parts of our coterie basically showed up to this Elysium, and basically we all kind of like walked around the room, had a little bit of a listen in on like gossip and little bits of information to see if we could figure out what was going to happen, essentially. And basically, eventually the Seneschal made that announcement, I believe, that basically something was like of import was taken from the prince, and basically that anyone who like brought back both the item and the individual responsible would receive a major boon. The culprit being a Malkavian known as Brother Anselm. Anyone who harbors them will face Mithras's wrath as well, which great. We basically, instead of speaking to anyone there, decided to leave. finding out that they were apparently likely in the sewers, but that potentially we suspected as well they could have actually been using those sewers as a means of getting to their primogen. I believe. Was it the primogen? Yeah,
The primogen
alias
of
of
the
the Ashes.
Malkavian. Mistress Alias.
Yes. Indeed. So we
He's
decided
very
that
hospitable.
yes, very, very hospitable. But basically, yes, we decided to seek her out, suspecting we could intercept. And in doing so, we came up with a state that was left in ruin. Basically, Ashley and Conrad decided to initially go inside, while Enid kind of like remained stealthed at first. However, she eventually ended up joining them as the estate was being creepy. Although we eventually found out through speaking with Mistress Alias of the Ashes that the brother Anselm had the keys to Avalon. Not literal in terms of keys, but something that could essentially potentially unseat the prince or otherwise. And we eventually also told her that essentially we could help Brother Anselm. And and also that Enid knew of a place that Masters of Shadow tend to congregate that potentially he could be hiding out at the Bristol.
The city of Bristol.
City of Bristol.
Sounds like a wonderful place.
Oh yeah, so good.
It's sometimes called in Vampires the Enshadowed City.
Nice.
How delightful.
I think with that, you all came together to discuss your plans, deciding that you were going to travel forth to the city of Bristol to chase down leads and find out if indeed this strange monk, Malkavian, seems to run off too. I think with that,
Find out.
we come to a scene in which you all have came together. Ashley having to leave to take care of their own time being saying along the line, "Oh, I'll catch up later." Which, as a coterie mate, would either know that you're either going to see them in the next couple hours, or you'll see them in a couple months. We'll see.
Mhm.
However, we do see, as you all gathered around, preparing, I imagine, probably the estate or haven of one of yourselves, in preparation for your travel, having to procure yourselves a carriage. We would see the arrival of one of your other coterie, the pale, almost elven-looking figure of Philippe. Philippe, would you like to describe yourself for the players in the audience? Oh, you're muted. Oh, no, you're not. You're good.
I'm not. I'm trying to remember what the photograph looks like since I've only ever had it described to me once. I should have been ready. Sorry. He is a very thin. Elven is a good descriptor for him. With the
So he's Bowie's thin white duke.
yeah, pretty much he nailed it on the head.
There you go.
Kind of almost a bluish tint to his skin. Long, ratty, drawn back hair into a braid. Red overcoat, always on. His thin form barely able to hold the wool up. And looks not poor. I mean, his clothes are maintained and not disheveled by any means, but certainly doesn't necessarily pay enough attention to as much attention to hygiene and whatnot. Smells of old books and things of that nature, plus a slightly metallic odor for some reason. Big, huge eyes and a very thin nose.
It's totally cool to be Bowie's thin white dude,
Yeah, that's what it is.
which is a gender unto itself.
It's... Get no arguments out of me on that.
I look like a Franciscan monk. I have the brown hooded robe thing. Look totally like a Franciscan monk, with the hint of a black mask underneath the hood.
Enid as well, kind of like still has her kind of like long blonde hair in a braid by like over one side of her shoulder. She very much also gives off like a very cold presence when you kind of get near her.
Cool.
So
We are in Bristol.
No, you haven't begun the travel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
about to
London.
begin the
You're
travel.
preparing your travel.
I have a carriage.
That'd be good.
it would be well, it's fortunate. A long walk. Are we going to Bristol again?
When are we going? Is that what you asked?
Aye.
Whenever we are ready, I guess.
Why?
Well, why are we going? We think that he is there.
He has these keys that could unseat the prince.
The keys may be metaphorical.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you see a small glimmer appear in his eye? I like metaphorical.
It certainly makes them easier to acquire.
Interesting that he would want him alive. Thought is thick. Interesting. We have any friends in Bristol, or are we having to sneak in?
Would Enid know many people in Bristol?
Roll
choose.
me a d10, and before you do, tell me high or low.
Oh god.
Say yes or no. Nice.
Yep. Low. That is low. Finally.
Do in fact know people, as Bristol itself is a La Sombra heavy city. Most likely your sire's probably from Bristol. As well,
Makes
you would
sense.
know Bristol is ruled over by the enigmatic and mysterious prince known as Lady Blackwish.
Oh,
Ooh. That's a fun name. I know some people in Bristol. My sire, but a lot of the people there are of my clan as well.
Good.
well then, we shall have you be the point then.
Sounds good.
Shall we? there anything further we need as far as resources before we head out? Do we have an intended destination other than the city?
I do not think so.
No.
Very well. Let us get going. The game is afoot, as they say, and our rabbit moves quickly.
To Bristol! A town that sounds like a town called Bristol. So, we'll be using my carriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be bringing my, No, I won't bring anyone with me. They'll stay safe in my part of the town.
Yeah, I don't think Enid is gonna bring much with her either.
Leap has a book coming to the library shortly, so his retainer will be staying there to maintain the library, of course.
Prepare your journey with your carriage that has been up, ready for a journey that you shall take. Most likely, this journey is going to take you at least a day. So there will be a period of a period of time during the journey where you will be unconscious. Effects of the sun.
Mhm.
Thus, you will have to ensure that you are protected, ensuring that the carriage itself is light-proof. There are no windows. There are no ways that light could sneak in or poke through. As well, a number of guards and ghouls are traveling with you to ensure your protection. So your rest is not bothered. Period of time that day.
Before they had assembled, Lee probably would have popped up on herd, off of his herd, just to down on the need to hunt, a day trip.
All right. How many points in herd do you?
I think I have 2 or 3. I can't remember. Probably only 2.
You have 2 points in herd. So you have about 7 vessels. 7 points.
Ooh. Actually, in that case, how much does 1 point in herd give you?
3.
Yeah, I think before we leave, you might take one of those
Right.
to top me up.
Do I need to go ahead and roll for starting?
Yeah. You'd be rolling a d10 plus 2. Actually, you also have domain, so it'd be plus 4.
Oh,
Okay.
got 2 wrong on that.
Yeah, you're starting at 4.
Okay, cool.
I totally forgot. My character sheet is in Roll20.
hmm
I'm like, where is my character sheet? Oh, wait.
It's hiding.
Yes, the hiding.
Yep.
Right.
Have a picture for con.
Mm.
You have a picture for Conrad? What?
Yeah. Look at the Roll20, you can see his picture.
Oh. Oh, there he is.
With that, we can begin your journey as you all pile into the relatively, I'd probably say spacious carriage, considering your resources. I think you have quite a bit. And you begin your journey outside of the city of London, outside the safe haven of Mithras.
Oh.
You now find yourself in the wilds.
That's not a good place to be.
It is a land that belongs to the animals and the more monstrous of the canite kind. Here you'll find many of the vagabonds and beasts, as well as sometimes even worse monsters. The kinds that even the undead fear for their strength and power and wrath. However, you nonetheless begin your journey down the rickety pathways that lead between cities, heading on your way to the Enshadowed city of Bristol. It is with that we start the first length of the journey, which takes the entire rest of the night. At this point, I would like one of you to roll me a d10 and tell me high or low.
That should not be me.
I've already used up my luck with that one.
Alright, I got it.
Yeah.
Or your roll say
I'm
high
not
or low.
risking it again.
I will say. Regretfully, I will say hi.
Ooh, that's a 3.
That's not
Well,
high. Well, it's higher than 2.
That is true, just higher than 2. It's higher than 1.
It is at the point where we see the moon has rised to the center of the sky at its highest point. It has begun to sink in as you would hear the sound of your driver knocking on wood next, essentially on the back way carriage, and you feel
Yes, Fritz.
the sound of the horses stopping and the carriage stopping.
That can't be good.
You hear Fritz kind of pulling back a little. Well, first of all, unlatching something and then flat.
Oh yeah, the little...
You hear his voice saying, there's an injured man in the road. I think there's a dead horse next.
Damn it.
Woe for him.
Well, keep your distance. I will go investigate. You see, there's this story about the Good Samaritan. I will tell it to you later.
I can't wait.
I will go and investigate the individual. First, I will look at him with my magic vampire peepers.
Sure thing. Make a perception and alertness roll. This would
Aye,
be
sir.
a difficulty 9. However, you can lower it equal to the level of auspex you have.
1.
So it's difficulty 8.
All right, let's see. Having never. All right, so remind me how I roll on this.
You have a tab that says dice pools. Roll.
Dice
Yeah.
rolls. Dice. There we go. All right. So I'm going to be rolling.
Perception alertness.
Perception alertness. All right. One
Also,
moment.
thank you,
Difficulty
Lionheart,
8.
for subscribing. Welcome to the party.
Yes.
Ooh. Hey, nice.
Thank you for subscribing.
Hey.
Thank you.
Perception plus alertness. Difficulty 8. How did that do? Oh, I got 3 successes.
3 successes.
That's a good roll.
That's pretty good.
As you focus in on your peepers, as it were, stepping down from the carriage, you look out to see a man wounded in the road. You can see, or rather, you can smell the taste of aged blood. This definitely does not seem to be a fresh wound, from what you can tell. Looking by, you can see some of the blood that's on like hands and body seems dried, and he is kind of crouched down among the blood on the road. Yet the longer you look at it, the scene doesn't seem to match the destruction around.
There is something suspicious. I will tell my comrades that there is something suspicious about this, of course. And to be prepared. I will then shout out to the man on the road. Hello there.
There is no response.
Well, perhaps he has been dead for a very long time. All right, I will get closer.
Each step will make you closer to them.
I'm good.
Right? Each step bringing you closer to the body. As you do and your eyes adjust, you can tell the man does seem to be breathing. And the blood he's covered in seems to be certainly not his own. And you can kind of see just glinting in the darkness. Something metal he's gripped in his hands, kind of covering, playing on it.
Very well. Once again, I will shout to him and say, "Are you well, sir?" To say clearly not.
Still, the body lies breathing
All right.
slowly.
Well, he is breathing. That's a good sign, I suppose. Very well. I will get close to him and touch his shoulder.
With that, could you make me a soak roll?
I fucking knew it.
This would be your stamina roll, difficulty 6. Plus any fortitude you might have.
Excellent. Excellent. Stamina. None. And what's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Roll. One success.
Alright, 1 success. You don't take any damage from this. However, an arrow from the darkness fires into your shoulder.
I will take a deep sigh.
Then hear the
And then I
sounds of
will-
yelling. People stop
And-
running their way out of the sides.
I will take
Pull
the
it,
arrow.
what's it?
Evil.
I will take the arrow. I will pull it from my shoulder. And I will hold it in my hand. And I will look at the fools who are running out, the bandits who are running out. And hold on 1 second. Primary. I have to remember if I'm good at this. I'm okay at this. I would like to make an intimidation roll as I pull the arrow straight out, because you're supposed to push it through. That's the proper way to move an arrow. I just pull it right out and look at all of them and say, "You would dare the wrath of God? Please come closer and allow me to teach you his cruel wisdom."
Right? Manipulation,
make an-
intimidation.
Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. Manipulation, intimidation. Target number 6.
Yes.
Okay. Roll. I have 2 successes.
Yeah, with that, as you just pull out this arrow like it was nothing. No exclamation of pain. And you just look at them and you speak these low and calm. The ones that begin yelling, that would like coming out holding what looks to be essentially just like pieces of wood that have been like taken off a cart or something. They raise it into the air, begin running, and as soon as you say that, they stop. A couple of them lowering their weapons, trembling in fear. You
As they
see
should.
a bunch of just desperate, hungry faces. Many of them with kind of sunken cheeks and sunken eyes. The one on the ground seems to almost begin pushing himself backwards, dropping the knife he had kind of grasped, pushing himself off the ground to try and get away from you as fast as possible. And there was a pause.
Of course they're hungry. Well,
Then-
now... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
A figure begins to walk out. Rush.
Oh.
Equally as deadly. It's Token. Yeah. A hooded, bearded man who begins slowly approaching. He raises his hands, and as he does, immediately the attention of everyone else turns to him, including yourself, as you feel this almost magnetic pull towards him. This immediate attention is grabbed, as you are affected
Oh.
by awe.
Yep.
Oh, god damn it.
Philippe looks at Enid. He might need some help out there. He just looks at her. Looks at him.
I agree.
Enid continues to sit there.
I'm gonna look at this figure with my magic
No,
peepers. and
she'd get up. No, she'd like.
Alright.
I want to look at him with my. Actually, I can't tell creature type with just 1 point of aspects. I need 2, don't I?
No, you need to. You need aura perception.
Yeah, you need aura
Uh-huh.
perception, yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. Well, does he smell like a corpse?
Not particularly. Then again,
Okay.
most canites don't smell like corpses. Certain ones do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you.
But you hear a low, rumbling voice come from the man as he goes. My apologies. Thought you might have been someone else.
Are we kin then?
Depends what you're in. We're not enemies, if that's what you...
Well, that is good to know.
His eyes glance to you and companions. At this point, I think are leaning outside the door. The carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he looks over, Philippe like kind of gasps and like ducks back into the carriage. It's obviously shaking with fear, even.
I think Enid's just kind of like taking in what's happening, seeing if she needs to step in.
My name is Conrad. I am from London. These
His
are
eyes
my...
narrow slightly at that. Go on.
And I say, these are my companions. And I will allow them to introduce themselves. And I look back at the carriage. I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Philippe.
Nice to meet you.
He looks, and then back to Conrad. So what brings you all from London?
We are traveling to Bristol.
Don't get many travelers from London. Most are trying to run there. Desperate to hide under the thumb. The flaming bastard.
The flaming bastard. Well, that is not us.
He kind of narrows his eyes towards you. He just seems to calm a little. So you can tell, certainly, on a hair trigger.
Yeah. I can tell.
Oh.
Well, this section of the forest seems to belong to you. If we make an offer to not break any dishes, may we pass through peacefully?
Think that's good enough? Get the feeling tangoing. Trouble than it's worth.
I have the same perception.
Miles.
Did he, Mark, did he introduce himself, by the way? Did he give me his
name? He did not give
No.
you a name.
name? All right.
Hmm.
No name bandit.
I think actually, it's probably at this point he would look to you and he would go. Actually, no, he wouldn't. Continue. Continue. He just looks at you and goes, "Well then, I wish you well."
I will reach into my robes, and I will take out a handful of coins, not like pennies, but like a good bunch of coins. I will look at one of the bandits, and I will put the coins in his hand. And I say, "Go eat something."
See the bandit and me takes the coins, turns and runs off into the forest.
Like, nope.
He was supposed to share that with his friends.
I
But
think
apparently
you misunderstand
Jared-
the relationship they all have.
Apparently, I do.
An
Charity
alliance
is a
of-
different.
an alliance of desperation rather than friendship.
Well, then I'll take out more coins and I will give them to him, and say, "Make sure each of them eats something."
Sure. He tucks the coins away.
Yeah. Hey. I trust people are going to do the right thing.
He doesn't care about these people.
And he doesn't give a shit.
Nope.
A bunch of
It's not like me. It's not like me. I have like 200 ghouls, and they're all been off the hog, man.
Oh god.
So, I will go back to the carriage.
With that, you also watch as he moves over to like where the dead horse is on the road, and he just grabs it with one hand and drags it across like it's weightless.
Alright.
Can either of you identify what he is?
I could try looking at him really hard, but I don't have any abilities to let me do that.
Really, you look at him and you're like,
Well-
"Yep, that's a dude. That's a dude."
That's a dude.
It would take some inspection that I'm pretty sure that he would not approve of from me.
I'm sorry, Drew. What clan are you playing?
Yes,
The what?
He said,
yes, it.
I don't know what that is.
I like the weird fey ones.
Oh, the Fey one. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Challenging the limits of my World of Darkness lore. No wonder you look like Elric.
Maybe on the way back we could stop and I could take a closer look. But right now, the fine discussion you just said, we should probably be on our way.
Yes, probably.
I agree.
Just so that you two are reminded. No, we haven't worked together a lot, but I'm quite shit in a fight. So, job, Conrad. He nods enthusiastically.
Handled it very well.
When the Lord's peace fails, his justice succeeds.
Sure. Tell yourself that every night before you go to bed.
Giving you the eye. Carry on, Fritz. It's Fritz, what? Right? Was the driver?
"Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
He answers to
Fritz
whatever
now.
name you call him. I honestly,
Someone's
I think,
gonna put in the comments, no.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
wasn't
honestly,
good.
he's your ghoul. You could call him whatever you want to call him, and he'll respond.
That's true. That's true.
That's my name now, I guess. That you return to your carriage. Eventually, you reach the point where you feel the day's sleep upon you, like a weight upon your psyche, chest, finding the dreamless sleep of the dead overcoming you. As the day arrives, time passes. Eventually, your consciousness returns. Eyes opening wide. You're still in the carriage. You have not been dragged out into the sun. It's a good sign. And all three of you are there. No one is missing.
Is the carriage
good.
moving?
It is moving.
Okay.
Ah.
Fritz, how far are we from our destination?
Only a couple more hours to go, sir.
Very good.
With that,
You did stop. You did stop for a repast. I trust.
Oh yes, I did so during the morn.
Good. I don't want to order you to do that again.
Of course, I am at thy command.
I don't want to order him to take care of himself again.
Is that something you have happen often?
Did it
The
happen?
condition, the condition of ghouling an individual means they put your self-interest above theirs. It is a common condition. I have to wean them off of it.
Really, I've never had mine to be told to take a piss. That's interesting.
Well, perhaps it's because your blood is weak. Jab, jab, jab.
Wow.
He just smiles at you, blinking.
Then with that, one of you roll me another d10 and tell me high or low.
Do I need to do it?
Yep, you need to do it.
Yeah. It's your
Alright.
turn.
I already had my
Again?
good roll for the day.
Yeah, me too. I have blood.
Let's see if you roll a werewolf.
Let's go.
Let's
Go high.
see.
Yes, roll a werewolf. Hey!
8.
A werewolf is going to kill this crew in one round.
Yeah, it would not take long.
Yeah.
One rage
Uh,
point. We're going to spend one rage point. That's it. It's over.
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
would
even
be.
need the rage points, honestly.
Yeah.
When I was making characters, like I should make a heavy hitting, pipe swinging, mean vampire. Nah, I'll make a weak, frail Zamisi who actually cares about his ghouls.
Yeah.
with that,
So when he dies,
Yeah.
I'll bring in the heavy.
exactly. With that, you hear another knock. Wooden outside of your carriage. The sound of a slat being pulled back. You hear the voice of Fritz. We have arrived, my lord.
Oh, very good.
I shall find a place to park the cart and see that the horses are looked after. Need anything?
Well done.
Let me know. Thank you, my lord.
Thank you, Fritz. Your service has been remarkable. That is why I remark upon it.
Flashes put back in place. You hear the sound. You are able to unlock the carriage as this carriage locks from the inside. And with that, you step out and look out to see the large city of Bristol.
So, Enid,
Well,
were you
this is
born here?
larger than I. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, Enid, were you born here?
Born? No. I've been here before, but that's where my sire hails from.
Could we go see them?
You could. I suppose I'll need you to where she typically stayed.
There's also one thing. When arriving in a new city, it is customary
Yes. Yes.
to arrive and announce yourself before the prince.
Yes.
Otherwise, they might mistake you for raiders.
Yeah. That'd be unfortunate.
Yes, that would not be our intent.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You should go do that first.
Sorry,
Are you familiar with the court?
I know the prince, but not much else.
That is more than I know.
we should go meet them. Sorry, I have left London in quite some time. I'm very excited to be here. Seems different.
It is.
All right. So where's the court?
Begin making your way in the
Oh,
river
God.
that flows by it. Bristol itself is also a town. The harbor. Nonetheless, you begin to make your way through streets, where the shadows themselves feel almost oppressive. People hide away in their homes, daring not to step out into the... Perhaps in some fear, not necessarily a knowledge, of course, as the silence of the blood is fact. But it is clear that the people here are on edge. The lights are low. Begin to make your way into an area which is known as the Shadow Court, aka Easy of Bristol.
Mhm.
Inside, there are a number of that seem to be together in discussion. The walls of the Elysium themselves thick with shadows, enough that you can't quite tell if there are figures there. Everything seems to be almost heavily obscured, except for those who stand in almost the center area of the Elysium, where there is just enough light to be able to see people's faces.
La Sombra City.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Indeed.
You begin to step forward, your path is blocked by the figure of a nun.
Oh, that's not good.
The one thing to note about this nun is that under her habit looks to be chainmail.
That's doubly not good.
That's cool.
That's cool.
You can see the shadows around her begin to twist and turn and rise, almost like when an animal gets scared and it kind of raises its hackles. This kind of feeling of her shadow almost bubbling up around, making her look larger. And certainly, for those of you who don't have obtenebration, terrifying sight to behold. Enid, make an intelligence.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Let's do this.
Oh, intelligence politics already had one of those. Difficulty standard?
6. Standard for you.
6? Yeah, standard. Cool. That's 4 successes.
Yeah, with 4 successes, you definitely know. This
Mhm.
is one of the hounds of the city. She is known as the Holy Leash,
That's nice.
aka
That's cool.
Sister Verna. Verna.
Ooh.
Sister Verna. Okay.
As she says, "We're not invited to this session of the Shadow Court. Speak now, strangers, why you have come here."
To make our presence known to the prince.
I see. What business do you have in Our Lady's city?
Go on. It's all you.
Oh god.
Up to you.
Yep. We are looking for a person of interest.
Person of interest. See.
Mhm.
Wait here. The prince will speak with you momentarily.
Of course.
Don't you watch as she turns and begins to walk her way to the edge of the room, and she seems to disappear into the shadows.
I'm pretty sure she does not appear to do that. I'm pretty sure that is what she does.
A good question. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we don't know.
Simply walks into the darkness and you do not see her any longer.
Yep.
Hey, Enid. Enid.
Mhm. Yes.
But just say we're visiting your sire. Next time. Pats her on the shoulder.
I mean, that would
Why
have been
would-
good to.
Why would we lie?
Yeah. I feel it's good to be.
You cannot
To not
walk toward.
obscure.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I just believe that it is good to know when to lie and when to not lie.
Said
Look at
anything
things
about
safe.
I. He just shrugs and smiles. It's fine. I just, long pauses tend to leave pause for pause on their behalf. Just concerned. Doing anything wrong.
All right.
With that, turn to see that the 4 figures that were in stopped and have turned their attention to you. Of particular, there is 2 of them that are dressed in the robes of priests. One of them in brown robes and the other in black. Another that seems to be dressed like that of a nobleman with a short beard and dark eyes, wearing what looks to be almost heavy furs. The last is a man dressed in dark clothing, blacks and greys. But more notably, his eyes are pitch black and lack any color, as if his eyes themselves were windows into the void. Enid, you would recognize these as the individuals that they are. The one in the brown robes is Father Isaac. The one in the black robes is Father Aurelio. And the noble-looking figure is Cyrus. Cyrus? Icarus?
Cyrus?
It's Greek. And the last one is Lord Elijah. The main things you would know, Father Isaac and Elijah are from, at least from the Isles. Either from, something along those lines. Cyrus is not from around here. He is here, as a, what would be the right word? A representative of the other shadow courts that exist. And Father Aurelio himself is supposedly an emissary from the Vatican. But they all seem to turn their attention. Have made yourselves known.
Greetings.
Father Aurelio. Greetings. I do
I
not
forgot,
recognize. What brings you to Bristol?
I will look at our face lady.
Yep. We're here on business, I suppose, looking for a person of interest as well as my sire.
You are dressed a priest. I assume that you are one.
Me?
That to you, comrade.
I am not a priest. I am a monk.
I see.
I am with the Franciscans.
Forgive my assumption.
No. There is nothing to forgive.
I am Father.
I am Brother Conrad.
And you. His eyes turn to you. You are an interesting figure.
Thank you. I go by the name Philippe. It's my pleasure to meet you. Father.
Almost arriving. Figure with jet black eyes at your side. I have heard of your blood before. Were the Kiasit. Elf blood.
Close enough. Yes, that is most of the pieces of the puzzle of my making. Correct.
Fascinating. You see there's a smile that grows on his face as these glinting white teeth shine. And as it does, the rest of him almost seems to darken, as if the only thing that can be seen is his teeth.
Yeah, that ain't creepy at all.
With that, Philippe kind of looks around, darting his eyes side to side, and kind of like takes a half step behind Conrad.
Aurelio speaks up and he says, "Do not mind Elijah. He is an eclectic man. A fancy way of saying Lord Elijah seems to him. There's a glint in his eyes, going to say something, but instead he stays quiet.
I appreciate meeting you too, Elijah. He nods, still standing, slightly trembling behind Conrad.
Elijah turns to you, smile. Hope we will have another opportunity to talk. And if indeed the prince decides you are not welcome, perhaps I could talk her into reception. I'd like to learn more about your eldritch nature.
It was several happenings along the way, but maybe someday we can sit and discuss. Thank you for the
Yes.
offer, though. If the prince chooses to not accept me, I will suppose I will be on my way elsewhere. But thank you, and what a lovely place you all have here. This is. He looks over at Enid like to try to bail him out because he has no idea what to say next.
He just kind of looks back with a smile, not necessarily picking up on that cue.
I will pick up on that cue. We appreciate the offer. If our skills, if our diplomatic skills fail, we will call upon you.
Smiles. At this point, Rolio goes to say something to perhaps clear the air, but he doesn't get the opportunity before a figure appears out of the. This one, looking as if a shadow has grown into the area of light that you're in, and then from the ground, arising up is a figure. The prince
That's an impressive
wishes
entrance.
to speak. The new arrival.
Give him a bow.
Alone.
Of course.
The word alone vibrates. You watch as the other men who have immediately. However, you look as Elijah seems to speak as if to disagree with what is told. But Father Aurelio places a physically pulls him to the side. Where they too disappear.
Philippe, you have an enthusiast.
Philippe's eyes are even larger than usual, looking at this shadowy form that has really formed in front of us and then said, alone. He had started actually kind of pulling away as if to leave, then realizing that maybe that wasn't what was intended. He, as the word enthusiast stated, he looks to Conrad, gives like a half crooked smile, nod, and literally goes down to one knee and bows his head in front of this big shadowy form, who apparently is more powerful than everybody else in the room.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Mm.
At this point, you hear the sound of footsteps across the stone floor. As stepping in the feminine. She wears a dark dress and a veil that covers. It's hard to make out her features, as if her features themselves are shifting among the shadows that are caused by the veil. A voice rings out. Calm. Cold. But not uninviting. You three guests in my home. Why have you come?
Enid kind of doesn't step forward, but just kind of politely curtsies in her direction.
You guys can make a perception and awareness roll. Difficulty,
Ooh, perception,
difficulty 8. If you have respect, you can
perception
lower it by 1.
awareness.
Yeah, perception awareness. For you and Enid, actually, it's going to be difficulty 6. For everyone else, it's difficulty 8.
Cool.
You look at my sheet for me, Mark. I'm sorry.
Perception awareness 6. 1 success.
You have a point.
Holy sh! I rolled 3 successes.
Damn, nice.
7 dice. 7.
Ooh, damn.
4 success. Alright. Philippe, you are the first to know that you are certainly not as alone as you first thought. As you can see in the corners of the room along the walls, shadowy figures. Numerous. Almost as if they're draped in the shadows themselves. Standing watch. You cannot make out their features. Cannot make out their figures. But you can tell that they're there. Conrad, you also notice. And for you, Enid, you can feel the shadows are being pulled and manipulated. Very powerful obtenebration is happening.
Mm-hmm. We are here to seek out my sire and also to look into a matter that a prince has set forth, a person of interest.
Your prince.
Yes.
You have come from London.
We have.
You speak of a request from the Lord of Light.
Enid nods.
And what request has he given you that has caused you to travel so far from the city?
To look for a person who has taken something from him. We don't know where he is, but we are looking.
Which individual? Kin or canine? Oh, kine or canine?
Yeah.
Yep. Knight. Brother Anselm. A Malkavian.
I see. Do you seek entry to my city for your seeking of this individual? Or do you seek information?
First, do I gauge from that long pause and obviously her mannerisms, do I gauge anything off or suspicious about that? Like,
Perception, empathy.
okay, perception, empathy.
We
Boy.
and we also make that, or
You can if
Please
you'd
help
like.
me.
yeah, I would, because he's paying
That-
attention.
Yes. Difficulty?
Difficulty 8.
8, okay. Ooh.
8 dice.
I got
Ugh.
1 success.
That
Nice.
is not enough.
Drat.
The difficulty 8.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Ooh, damn.
That's
That'll be
better than 1.
2 successes.
For Conrad and Enid, as you try and focus in hell on what it is she's trying to gauge anything about her, you can barely see any emotion at all. Everything about her is hidden. It is carefully done in a way that you cannot read an expression of any. The shifting shadows behind her veil. However, Philippe, you get the feeling that she is not surprised that you are here. There is recognition when Enid speaks of an individual that has that myth. She certainly knows something.
Right.
What she knows exactly, a mystery.
We don't know yet.
Nope. Thinking sorry.
As this interaction happens, he sees the other two have not knelt. Slowly pulls himself up to both of his feet. His long, tall, thin form, seeming to not tower above the others, though he probably does a bit. You see, and were requested by the Lord of Light to seek this person. However, we would not, of course, wish to cross you in any way. So if information is all you are willing to give us or allow us to gain, we would, of course, work with you and be more than happy for any information you could give.
I see. Make a
This is awful.
manipulation and etiquette.
Right?
Ooh.
So this
Ooh,
is you actually have this pretty high. 7 dice.
nice.
This is difficulty 7 though.
Yeah.
2 successes. He pauses for a moment. I am under the condition that for that whatever this is happening does not affect my city. That you ensure this thing that has been taken from the Prince of London does not get involved, me or my clan.
Of course.
We'll have no problem living up to that.
As soon as Enid says, "Of course," and Conrad quietly in his head goes, "Damn."
And now I gotta agree to this.
Your Highness, if I may,
He turns.
I am
Faced.
Yeah, I am Brother Conrad. I am also a resident of London. We have been tasked to return someone who has stolen something from the rightful prince of our city. Surely, if such an incident happened here, and the thief fled to London, you would recognize the difficult political position of acquiring the thief would be. We wish to be delicate. We do not wish to challenge your praxis, and we do not wish to cause trouble in your city. The easier this situation can be resolved, the quicker we can leave. That's called politicking.
She's quiet before its return. I will give you, in exchange, you will leave my city and you will not set foot here again without my permission. And you will ensure that this conflict does not reach my city's shores. For if it does, know that the shadows will not be kind to you nor those you care for. That you can feel the shadows in the grow larger, threatening to smother every bit of light, every bit of life that exists within, before it fades and turns gloomy.
What is the Prince of London's clan?
Mithras is, of course, a vet.
He's a Ventru. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also to note, Mithras himself is the head of the baronies of Avalon, of which this city is a part of. So she technically
Mhm.
has fealty to. Whether that's actually how it works, a little bit off.
And if you want to press that, you can feel free.
Exactly. Literally, the last time the barons revolted against Mithras, it ended in a draw. In a stalemate, rather.
Oh boy.
And that was with all of them working together. It was like 7 against 1. Nonetheless.
Yep.
He's a bad, bad man. All right.
Bad man.
Mhm.
We'll gladly accept any information you can give us.
We will, of course, endeavor to make sure that none of these troubles hurt your city, your clan, and anything of the like.
The one you seek.
Brother Anselm? Was it Brother Anselm?
Brother Ansel.
Yeah.
Kind of important.
Yes.
The Malkavian monk that you seek was perhaps at one time arranged to arrive in the city of Bristol. He did not, and he has not been seen since. He
So
is
he
not
did not
within my-
arrive here.
Would you please, you have any idea where he was last seen?
It was expected that he would be here last night, but he did not arrive.
Maybe he ran into bandits.
Thank you for sharing such information.
Yes. I would like to know if she's lying.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want you to.
Perception plus empathy.
Difficulty?
8.
Yep.
I'll spend willpower.
I'll also
Alright.
spend a willpower.
What does that do? It gives you a bonus die, right?
Gives you a 1 auto
An
success.
auto success. That's one success.
I'm sorry, Mark, I missed that.
1 auto success.
1 auto success. Okay.
Perception, empathy, what is that? 7
Here
dice.
we
right?
go.
7 dice.
Oh!
How did I roll -2?
Botches don't count, because it's got botches, but botches don't.
It's just 0 successes.
Just 0.
Yeah, you got no success.
Well, I got.
So you
I
got
actually
1 success in
I have
total.
1 success, which isn't going to count for much. Well, I also have Auspex. Can I get a bonus die for Auspex?
No, it just lowers the difference.
Okay.
Does it?
Well, in that case,
Rolled too high. Whoops.
How do
Actually, you
I-
had a 6.
oh, here we go. Oh, that's how you look. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you hover over it.
So I
You
actually
can
got
do it.
2 successes.
No, it'd just be 1, because difficulty would
Oh,
be
it was
lowered
8.
to...
Oh.
Yeah, the difficulty
7,
would
I mean,
lower to
yeah.
7 for you.
Yeah, and I. Oh, yeah.
You rolled
And
a
I rolled a
6.
6. Yeah, damn it. Okay.
Mine was rolled correctly.
Oh, that's why.
Damn, super detective Columbo discipline.
watch
Very well.
focuses on you. Philippe, from what you can tell, she doesn't appear to be deceptive. Which either means she's telling the truth, she's really good at lying.
She's really good, right?
Yep.
Now she is a prince.
Yeah.
A somber prince.
I love
nonetheless.
Summer Prince. Yeah, we're meant to have good manipulation.
See, she pauses before watches she waves her hand from the shadow. Figure appears, bound in ropes, with a stake through their chest.
Oh dear.
If Mithras is to ask, this individual here is the one who betrayed my trust. One who allied with Mad Malkavian. An attempt to bring them to notify him. Issue has been resolved, and that the one that he seeks never stepped foot into my city, as he never arrived.
Um, Leaf is nervously biting at his bottom lip, looking at the man.
Philippe, you can tell this guy's definitely a scapegoat. This guy's definitely not the one behind it. This is just a scapegoat.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not what that's not the pieces he's putting together. Uh. Scapegoat. Well, he's a scapegoat. It probably doesn't have anything important. He nods and we'll pass that message along.
Well, alas, we have reached a dead end if he is not here. Is there any chance that he is here and hiding in the city?
You watch as the shadows begin to twist and turn around. Are you
It is-
insinuating I do not know what happens within my city?
Of course not.
Then you have heard what I have to say on the matter.
Very well.
We have. Thank you for the information you have shared. We will abide by what you have instructed us as well.
See, if you seek
True.
those, may have reason to take in. Monk. Seek Nottingham.
Nottingham.
It's
Interesting.
possible to like a simple belonging that there, and he says, looking down at the man who is staked and tied up and obviously a scapegoat, so that we can take it to Mithras's, that we aren't just saying we saw him, but we're sure. Me
You can
personally,
take him if you would like.
I would love that.
She simply picks up or goes to like lift the man up from by holding on the binding he has. And she does so with one hand, lifting a groan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then watches
Oh,
she
the obligatory show of strength.
essentially like throws it across the room, and you see across the stones the body collapses in front of you. still stuck in this kind of rigor mortis position with its hands bound. Eyes open, staring wide-eyed in terror, with a frozen expression on its face.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Highness.
I think now is the time for us to depart.
Agreed.
Good.
Yes.
I will expect you will be gone from my city by sunrise. Good
We
evening.
will.
As she turns and walks back in. The man you will leave before sunrise, or we will know. With that, you
We will.
watch as he holds his arm. Watch as a shadow pulls off of him. Begins to focus on coalescing that then move. Inez, you being a
Yep.
practitioner of obtenebration can see
Mhm.
and then feel this tendril of shadow attach itself to your shadow.
Yes.
You then watch as the figure begins to
Wonderful.
fade into becoming shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So let's get out of here.
Yes.
Yes.
And once we're outside,
Boy.
I would like to go find some place that is at least relatively well lit.
Difficult to do, but not impossible.
It's difficult to do in a La Sombra city, right?
Yeah. Right.
Actually,
And
you'd find a place,
Actually.
and as you have some candles, Enid walks over, watches the candles flicker and go out.
Yep. Yeah. But not necessarily snuffed out. I have to make an penetration roll for that, I think.
I
well,
assume you would succeed.
I didn't last time, but yeah, probably.
We're
But
gonna
I
let
imagine
the dice get in
Enid
the way of
stands
a
a
good story.
suitable distance away, so that you're able to complete
Yeah,
it.
I think.
You-
Yeah. I think she might give you guys a wide berth so you can discuss things on the off chance that things might be overheard. Like, from what she knows of penetration, is it possible that the little bit of shadow that made its way into hers can hear her, or is it just sight?
Oh no, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. She keeps a wide berth so you guys can discuss things.
Hey,
so one of two things are true. He is either here or he is not here. If he is not here, there is no point in staying. If he is here, then we tempt the wrath of the prince.
it is not a political battle that we can win. It is one that our Lord might be able to.
We could, since she has ordered us to never come back to her city again, thus burning the bridge. We could go back to London and say she kicked us out. Did not allow us to investigate. And let his temper take over.
Meanwhile, we go towards Nottingham. However, would like to spend a minute with our friend in the carriage.
I concur. The poor fool.
Enid, could you possibly keep an eye on the horses for us while I get the inside just right for our departure.
Sure. Enid smiles, kind of like making her way over towards the horses, the grin still on her face.
The horses are immediately
Mark.
uncomfortable.
Yep. She kind of like almost kind of like keeps playing with the horse in that she recognizes it's uncomfortable but keeps trying to like get that reaction from it.
I would. Oh, that's not how that works. On the outs, so where this whole scene took place, the Elysium,
Mhm.
what is on the outside of that area?
The outside of the area, it's very much the upscale area where the richer people live. So a lot of like manors, buildings.
Still some shadowy areas to
Oh yeah.
look into. I would like to, actually, since the main estate, Conrad, would you be willing to rebind him so I could take one of these bindings?
While we are within the area of the Elysium,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use my discipline,
Very
That's
well.
what I'm heading towards too.
I think
so-
you
and
mean
I would like to
your
know.
sorcery.
Yes, my sorcery, and I would like to know if he is within the area.
Make the roll.
Mhm.
Is the roll.
Okay. This is I forget. It's intelligence plus occult. Is that it?
I believe it's intelligence.
Intelligence
Yes.
and occult. Difficulty 6. Roll. 3
Hey.
successes.
Nice.
You watch as Conrad himself connect to the land, the spirits within. You can feel that this city has a unseen depth to it. Well, not as old as it certainly has its caverns and crevices that you can see, that strange little rituals and occulty things taking place.
Occulty things.
You see there is a tower where there is a number of figures that have been chained to the wall. And you can see that they have been almost twisted. Their skin marred black, almost as if it's been charred to charcoal, but not by heat and not by fire. As if almost the abyss itself has infected their skin. You see people of twisted limbs, broken faces. Each of them little experiments that have been carried out. In this tower, you can, of course, see Lord Elijah Cartwright. But from there, your sight is pulled elsewhere as you focus in to sense the presence of the mad Melkavian monk, reaching out until you can finally say for sure he is not here.
Very well. They're not holding him in the Elysium. I will tell my compatriots. Although there are a great number of prisoners beneath the Elysium, being tortured.
Can I, in the same vein, I was working towards the same thing. I'm going to use the third dot of Mithras area.
Sure thing.
The the door handle or the bindings on the man. See if I can get a different perspective. There should be a token action for it.
Aura absorption.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Oh, it rolled it. You got 6 successes.
Wow.
Shit.
Empathy roll. Okay. So you're focusing this on the person.
Yeah.
So what you see as you focus in, you can feel the energies within, the emotions, the memories, these key things that are built within a person's spirit. As you begin to pull it into a story, a tale that can be understood. You see the figure as he is standing for the prince. The prince speaks a few words to him. They are enshadowed and quiet, but you understand the general that he is to send an invitation to the monk in question to inform him that he may find safe haven in Bristol. However, you then watch as later on she is informed that the individual never arrived when they were supposed to. Then she hears rumor of Mithras's hounds.
Dogs.
Dogs, yeah, dogs on her doorstep, sniffing around. You then watch as the next thing she does is bring the man forth, lift him up using her grand power of obtention, causing the shadows themselves to grab him and hold him steady as she shoves a stake through his heart and binds him. You can feel the man's fear, terror. A fear that everything is about to end. That he is about to end. There's almost an acceptance to it. At least there would be, if you didn't hear the beast screaming in his ear. In his soul.
Don't die. Don't die.
Very much. And with that, the muse within you pulls back. And you are returned to reality once more. Your connection. Strange, ethereal emotions severed. Or perhaps distant.
With that, he will to Conrad with a smile. Walking away from the Elysium towards the carriage. Work here is done. Should bring that with us. Leave this God's forsaken place.
No
one
offense,
fits this
Enid.
puzzle.
I'm taken. Take it as a compliment.
He matter-of-factly enters the carriage, sitting down, quite pleased with himself.
Enid will also back away from tormenting the poor horses and also enter the carriage. I think keeping an eye on her Shadow, though, trying to see if that little tether was still there.
It is. But as
It
you
is,
begin
yeah.
to make your way away from the city, it glides away. Return
Okay, yeah.
once came.
Alright.
Once Enid gives any form of significant sign that has happened,
Yep. Yes.
Blake will have been staring just straight across, like straight ahead, the whole time.
Yep.
Then he smiles and his eyes widen. So, our host there, Prince, to actually, well, they actually invited Mad Markavian to join us, or join them, and seek refuge there. Then the Markavian didn't show up. It displeased them. So this person over here paid the torment and the price as they were the messenger.
Never kill the messenger. That's just
Well,
bad
it's-
form.
It's not dead. We'll take it to Mithras and them torment it. It'll be grand.
I wonder why
Yes.
she told us to go to Nottingham.
Well, you seemed rather irritated that that the Malkavian never showed up. Or they don't like whoever's in Nottingham and want us to go harass them next. I think we're dogs, by the way. It's very peculiar.
Oh, that
If
would
you would
make
like, you
sense.
can make an intelligence politics Nottingham. This would be difficulty
will
8.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will do that.
Intelligence politics difficulty 8.
I got 3
Deal.
successes.
No politics.
Enid has 2 successes.
Right. For Conrad and
Actually, would esoteric apply?
not in this case.
Nah, I didn't think so.
So for Conrad and Enid, you would know that Nottingham is an odd place in the baronies of Avalon, as it's technically not a part of it. It is ruled over by a man they simply call Robin.
Oh, God.
You would also know that it is a haven or a group of kindred, or rather a faction of Cainites that call themselves the Furies. They
Oh,
are
God.
a group of Cainites that believe that elders are here to oppress them. So they need to kill and destroy all of them so they can obtain their freedom. They are all about anti-establishment and are very much rebels in the heart of Mithras's own country.
And all of John's other characters are like, yeah!
Yeah!
My peeps!
Let's go!
My peeps! And this character goes, how
My people.
depressing.
Specifically, quite a few of them, you would note, Comrade, are very anti-church. To the point where a couple of them even claim to worship the devil.
Of course they do. Like angry, undisciplined children. Very well. I propose that we ask this individual a few questions and then return back to London to report what we have discovered and where we intend to go next.
Questions would you ask of it?
Well, actually, you already know all the answers, don't you?
May.
I'm going to have to write that down. Let us go back to London then.
With that, we hear the sound carriage in motion once again. The horses acting, stepping across the stones, begins to make its way to the muddy path that would take you back to London. It is there we will end today's session.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
Oh,
With that,
Oh,
I
no.
hope you have enjoyed
Proto-anarchs.
the proto-anarchs. I'm sure they will be nothing but helpful to you all. Definitely won't tell you to
Oh, yeah.
fuck off. With that, I hope you've, my players, I hope you have enjoyed, and to our audience, I hope you've enjoyed watching this second episode of the Court of Mithras. We are beginning to learn more about this strange conspiracy that seems to be happening behind the scenes. Or maybe our players have simply found themselves in the age-old political conflict of barons and their prince. Nonetheless, there is more mystery to unravel, and we still have 6 more episodes to go into. Discover before everything perhaps comes to a horrific end. We'll have to see.
It's gonna end so bad.
that'll be
before that,
fun.
let's do some outros. Drew, why don't you start us off?
Everybody, I'm Drew. Tonight I've been playing Philippe the Kiasid. Scared little boy that he is, he still finds his way to make an impact. It's great playing again, and hope you guys all have a good week.
Up next, Mars. Give us your outro.
Right, hello and goodbye, everyone. I am Mars, and I played Enid, the creepy little Lasombra who enjoys messing with horses.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, John. Why don't you give us your outro?
Hi, I have been playing Conrad, the Christian Zamisi. It's a lot of fun to play. It's like all of my instincts are wrong. And I make games, and you can find all my games over on DriveThruRPG.
And I think you also have your YouTube channel that people can check you out at. I think it's the
Yes,
at the
you
real
can check out my
John
YouTube
Wick.